Hello, and welcome to the From the Shadows podcast. I am the producer, Jason Lewis. I would like to thank you for tuning in to the From the Shadows podcast. And without further ado, here is your host, Shane Grove.
Welcome, everybody. This is Shane Grove, host of the From the Shadows podcast. I am with the Ozark Howler.
Ow! No, I don't know if I should howl,
And I'm with super producer Jason.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey, and thanks. If you're wondering what the heck is this showing up in my my podcast feed, this is a new little thing we're going to do. It's called 10 minutes, or what would we call it? Short stories with the Howler.
Short stories.
Yeah, short stories with the Ozark Howler.
Short stories of the Ozark Howler. So you got 5 or 10 minutes in the middle of your week. We're going to bring you a little story from the Howler, and hopefully it'll tickle your funny bones, make you feel good about yourself, give you something to look forward to, tide you over till our regular episode drops on Friday. So thanks for checking us out, and let us know what you think. We hope you enjoy the Howler, spending 10 minutes with the Howler as much as we do.
Enjoy, everybody.
So Howler, what was that story that you were telling me the other day? I think our listeners would really get a kick out of it.
Crazy woman story?
Well, aren't about half your stories that you tell me crazy women stories?
Well, yeah, but most of them I can't talk about.
Oh.
Yeah, most of them I can't talk about. I was, I'm almost embarrassed to go there. I'll be quite honest with you. But, the couple hundred people that listen regularly, I guess in theory they would be my fan base, correct? So
I think so.
Maybe they don't mind, right? Maybe they don't mind an embarrassing story. Well, back in 97, and the 98s had come. They come out of how cars. So in the fall of 97, I got a brand new 98 Crown Vic. It just changed that body style, and it was kind of an anomaly that they were not chipped. They didn't have a speed. You could go as fast as you wanted to in them. Well, what would happen? I'm driving down the highway one day. Me and my sergeant, we get a call to go to assist the local police department here, a big bar fight. Now, if your people look up Lake of the Ozarks, like just Google up Lake of the Ozarks Party Cove or Lake of the Ozarks Shootout or something. They got big powerboat races. They have big, to the people in the South, it would be like race weekend, where they have influx of tens of thousands of people come down here for certain events. Well, so subsequently, sometimes emergency services get overwhelmed. So it was a call for mutual aid. Me and my sergeant had to go help the police department at a bar, bar fight at this place called Shooters. And I don't even think it's there anymore. Shooters 20.
Doesn't every town have a bar called Shooters?
Yeah, but you know what? This thing
right.
had. I remember it had a sign at the door that said per fire code maximum capacity 1,640 some people.
Holy crap!
So it's when I say a bar, I mean it had a 3-story. It had like a mezzanine level overlooking the dance floor and stuff. It's just crazy off the hook. But me and my boss was up on the highway, big 4-lane highway. What they call limited access dual lane highway. So it's one step below interstate, but it's big. I had this brand new car. He had an unmarked car. We were talking, and we got that call, and we start going. He took off in front of me, and there's a big straight stretching road, and I had this brand new car, and I was just going to see how fast I could go, and I was going to gloat. Normally, unmarked cars without a light bar will outrun cars with a light bar simply because of the drag of the air. But I had a brand new car, and I was able to pass him. And as I kept going, I was down this big straight stretch. I don't know. I was only going like 130, maybe 131, 32, something like that. And I start seeing smoke, what I think to be smoke, on my deck lights in the headlights of the people I'm passing. Well, I had just, I'm kind of a car guy, so I realized instantly what had happened because a coworker of mine had done the same thing a week earlier. He got a brand new car the same day I did, but he called the fire department. What happened is those drive shafts were aluminum and they weren't rated for that speed or whatever. And as that car stretched out on the highway, it would eat the rear seal out of your transmission. You'd lose all the fluid. Well, in Ford's got dual exhaust, the catalytic converter's right there. All that transmission fluid on that exhaust just burn off. So now I've just gloated when I went past my sergeant. I had to call him what we call two-way, car to car. And I said, hey, man, I've got to stop up here. You're going to have to pick me up. I'm going to have to at the pit. You know what I mean? So I get to this intersection. I make a right and I pull into a gas station. And I put it in park. I shut all my stuff off by this time. So when I pulled in the gas station, this was like I'm normal driving. I jump out. Now it's smoking, but I walk in. I tell the clerk, hey, I'm going to park that car there for a minute. It's all right. It's my, I'm having some transmission trouble. So I jump in the car with my sergeant and we go to this bar. And of course, he's laughing at me the whole way. And we pull up in this, when I say we pull up in front of this bar, there's probably, now I told you it has 1,600 person capacity. But there's a line to get in of probably 100, 200 people. I don't know. Just a giant line about 50 or 60 yards long. And I'm young. I'm 24, 25. I think I'm 25 at the time. I put my hat on. I got my flashlight, Summertime, so we had short sleeve uniform shirts on. I had arms back in them days, and I'm strutting there with him across. And out of this 50-yard line of people, half of which was women, a voice in the crowd says, Jeff, you son of a bitch, you fucked me over. Sergeant looked at me. Now, keeps walking, and he goes, son, I believe she knows you. So we go in, and we quell the uprising. And what had happened is somebody was stealing out, they had these giant pickle jars for tips, and somebody was stealing out of the tip jar and got the beat down. So by the time we walked in true trooper fashion, it was already over with anyway. So we just got the opportunity to pull up in new cars with new uniforms on, look good. So we walk out, and of course I have to go through the crowd to find out who it was. And her interpretation of the situation was different than my recollection. So,
you're talking about you went to find out the young lady who said hi.
Yeah, who misspoke as I walked in. Okay. So anyway, my boss takes me back to this gas station. I call, and we had new cars, and if your car was new, it was a warranty issue, so you would call the Ford warranty. Anyway, a rollback came and took my car away, but it had this giant puddle where I'd parked it. Where that thing had bled out for lack of a better term, bled out on that parking lot. And while me and my boss is in there getting our half-price coffee or free coffee or half-price Coke, whatever they used to give us at some of them places, this is terrible of me. This guy shows up in a bass boat. He's got a bunch of tournament guys down here, and he unknowingly pulled and parked right over that red spot of transmission fluid in a pretty new Chevrolet. And they came in and got whatever they got, and as they walk out, they see that puddle. So then they're on all fours trying to figure out where it was leaking. My sergeant said, hey, go over there and tell them that's not theirs. So anyway, I've seen some crazy women. You go to these,
Ladies and gentlemen, a final word. Please visit us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/From the Shadows Podcast, and on our Instagram page at instagram.com/From the Shadows Podcast. You can visit our webpage at FromTheShadowsPodcast.GoDaddySites.com, or contribute to our Facebook discussion page called After the Shadows, and tweet us on our Twitter feed at twitter.com/podcast_from. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you all. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.